Hello, everyone, and welcome to RHAP's coverage of Survivor 49 for Survivor Global. I'm your host, Shannon Guss, here to talk about what I'm hearing is the real Survivor in the world. This is it. This is where proper Survivor happens, and the rest of us are all playing, ORGs. I'm not playing anything, but someone who did play Survivor made it 47 days in what is only quasi-Survivor is the amazing runner-up from Titans v Rebels. It is Caroline. Caroline, thank you for being here.
Hey, Shannon. Thanks for having me, darling.
You can tell I've come in fired up.
Yeah, we're fired up, baby. We're so freaking fired up. Like, what the hell is going on in the Survivor-verse that Parvati, two men are trying to take Parvati down in the Survivor-verse? It's not okay.
For me, firstly, I had the most passive-aggressive intro of all time. For people who haven't seen this, because there was a clip from On Fire that's making the rounds today of Jeremy. I felt in a very leading question. I do love Jeremy Collins. I might be a little biased, but I felt it was a leading question on a CBS product, and Jeremy said, Jeff asked, does it count? That's Parvati's win on AUV World, and he was like, it's 1.5 wins that she has.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's not really the gender aspect. For me, what it is the Americans are the center of the world.
Yeah.
Only their Survivor counts.
Yeah.
And we can talk a lot about this, but I think the way it ties into 49, which is what we're here to talk about, is like, are you kidding me? You're saying that as you're discussing an episode of 49, you're saying that when AUV World was sandwiched between 48 and 49, things can turn around, and we hope that they do. And I pray, like Shannon does, that 49 turns around, but where we're currently at is probably the worst year of US Survivor that I can think of. I'd have to go through the calendar years of Survivor between 48 and these first 5 episodes of 49. And you're telling me that Parvati winning AUV World doesn't really count? Maybe we should be talking about what counts, okay?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, so far this season, you know me, I am so invested in the show. Yeah. I love this show. Even the shit episodes, the shit seasons, I love. But and I've watched Survivor Thailand twice. That's insane. That's insane. Exactly. So, and this is
that's credentials. Yeah, that's crazy. That should be in your Twitter bio. I watched Survivor Thailand twice. I'm not here to mess around.
And I am not here to mess around, because I'm here to tell you that episode 1 was terrible. Episode 2 was really so bad. I've never got up to go and walk and do something else while I'm watching Survivor. I'm on my watching my screen. But this is just insane. The episode 3, terrible, and this is a last episode. I'm just not invested in it. There's a couple of people, and we will get into this, who I'm a little bit invested in, and I really, really hope they do well. But this is the most boring season that there's just, I don't know what it is. Is it the casting? Is it the edit? Is it just and Jeff's asking leading questions this is the hottest season that I can ever remember. And I'm like, man, you're an old man. Of course you're feeling the heat, because you've been doing this since you were a zygote. So now it's time to give up, because you're getting too old to sit in this heat all day, Jeff. Honestly, it's terrible.
Well, I think, people either don't want us to continually rag on it, and I get it, or they want the catharsis of the unfiltered opinions. And I kind of feel like I need the catharsis. I was going to ask you, I was like, should I even say this on the podcast? I was watching the episode last night. I fell asleep twice, Caroline. Now, I need to ask you, as both a Survivor fan and a medical expert, is that the pregnancy, or is that the season?
That is boredom, babe.
Yeah, and I went back. I'm always good enough that I'm about to fall asleep and I'll pause, so I'm not missing anything. I watched it again, believe me. Yeah. But I fell asleep 2 different times. I was tired, but
And Shannon, Survivor. Have you ever fallen asleep watching Survivor before? Ever?
Not in my memory, but I've also not been watching it 20 weeks pregnant before, so I don't. I feel maybe.
I'm sorry.
Maybe I'm like Jeff. My circumstances have changed.
So back to the Parvati thing.
Yeah, okay, so Parvati. So, I mean, and I have a lot more on that because I feel like there's stuff in this episode that kind of points to like maybe what's going wrong. But yeah, on Parvati winning half a season with AUV World, we talked about this a lot during Australia versus the world. Parvati went to 9 tribal councils. You know who else went to 9 tribal councils? Kyle won this year. 9 tribal councils. D, 9 tribal councils. Like survived as many tribal councils. At the end of the day, is that not Survivor? Parvati's at the first tribal council already getting heat with this big competition, with the huge reputation that she has. There was more pressure in those first few minutes of AUV World than there has been for many people on this season of 49.
She didn't even get a vote.
At 9 tribes, and it's legitimate. It's not like she went to 4 or 5 tribal councils, and there have been winners. I think Michelle and Tom went to thereabouts of like 5-ish tribal councils. I don't have the exact math in front of me, but I know that Marianne went to 8. I know that Erica went to 7, and it's not just a new era. I think Tony went to 10. Parvati went to 9 in Cagayan for Tony. So what are we measuring it against? Is it fewer days less? Because Jeff's never said that of the new era. If fewer days, not less, well done, Australian Survivor. Actually, you are the only people who count. Christy and Jericho, who played at 55 days, apparently it's a sliding scale from you. No one's ever done that. We do not do that. We can qualify wins. We can compare wins. We can talk about the height of Parvati's competition versus maybe days played, maybe shorter, fewer people. We can talk about how many councils people go to. We can do all of that. But in terms of that, Parvati's, and it's not even that she's not far off where modern US Survivor is. She's where it is or more sometimes. And then we can compare. We do that all the time. We rank winners, sure. But to say it doesn't count as a win, well, now we're getting into a dangerous game. Now I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like, dude, does a new era count? It counts to me. But now you're getting into that. If things that are different don't count, does blood versus water count? So someone like Jeremy, do returnee seasons count differently? It's such a vast spectrum that we watch in US Survivor alone and Global Survivor. So to get into qualifying it because there are differences will negate much, much more than you think. And I don't think Jeff would want to go down that rabbit hole as much as he thinks, because there are bigger differences in his own franchise and that we would have to address. And I don't do that. And I don't think he should be doing that. And I don't think anyone should be doing that. I think they all count. And then we all look at them for what they are.
So why did he ask the question in the first place?
I can't get that.
Exactly. What is he achieving by asking Jeremy Collins that question in the first place?
I'm trying to give Jeff grace, and the fact that he didn't say it. And I've said this before, often, like, if one of my parents annoys me, I get mad at both of them. My mom's like, this isn't fair. I did it, and I get it. Like, I don't want that to happen to me when I'm a parent, like Jeff didn't say it. Jeremy said it. But it just does feel like, it felt like Jeff was at least
Why did Jeff ask the question in the first place?
But to be fair to Jeff, we asked this, right? Like, this was in the discourse. Like, in AUV World, we did talk about, I defended, I think, why it counts. I don't think you should have to do that. But I think that it speaks to, I'm defending against this like American-centric perspective. I think that Jeff is adding to it.
I don't think that anybody should have to defend themselves against any of these seasons. None of them. Doesn't matter where they are in the world. And I know that Australia is up there, that America is up there, and that obviously some of the rest of the world is not looked on as tough or as hard or as whatever. I don't think we should be comparing that. The way that I see it as a former Survivor player is we are all part of the same family, and we have all been through this process together. And the person I feel most sorry for is the cast on Survivor 49, because they must be looking at this and going, oh my God, what have we done? But also, I'm just wondering why he wanted to disrupt the discourse about what's going on in this, like, with Parvati and her win in Survivor AU versus the world. It was a phenomenal win. Let's just leave it at that. Why does he even have to bring this up in the first place? Jeremy, I adore. I have adored him for years. We are friends on social media. Like, I have been so proud of his game. And so was this something that was contrived before Jeff asked? Did they discuss this prior to him asking this online? I don't know. I really didn't like it. And I don't think we should be trying to bring anybody down in the Survivorverse. Doesn't matter where it is. All these Survivor players are amazing. It's fucking hard no matter where you are and however long you do it for. the fact that Parvati was playing against players, some of the best players in the world, two of the best players in Survivor US, and she went to so many tribal councils, she didn't get a vote. She was a clear, classy, amazing winner. I think we should just be cutting it off there. And Jeff, please don't disrupt the discourse.
Yeah, I mean, and look, it's very gracious of you because, again, you played 47 days. So if you're willing to allow a friend to the club, Caroline, you should be doing this. You should be like, don't talk to me unless, even if you played 39 days, you're doing 8 days more than that. Like, you could be doing that and you're not. I think it's a very dangerous game. And again, it's a hard one because if Jeff just said this straight out, I'd go to town. Jeremy said it. Jeremy said it as an employee of On Fire. I also love Jeremy so much. I hope Jeremy's a winner of AUV World, and then we can be like, that's a full win, Jeremy. That's the way we'll win this argument.
Yeah. Is this a half a win or is this a full win?
No, well, I mean, and we'd be happy to. I'd love to have Jeremy on an AUV World season. Yeah. I just think that, I just think that once you kind of start this conversation, so like it's Jeremy. I feel like he's kind of being led there, but he also is a grown man who said what he said. Jeff did not say anything. And again, I'm trying not to put it on him.
Yes, I can't think about it the way you're thinking about it. I think the fact that Jeff asked the question in the first place was a leading question. And so
it did feel leading. It felt different to the way we spoke about it because it felt like, but then again, I'm putting words in Jeff's mouth and I don't necessarily want to do that. But I think the entire sentiment around what counts and what doesn't count, do not play that game with me, because if there is a swap next week in the next time on, a lot of people will not go to tribal council till the final 11, and that does happen. These happens in 3 tribe seasons. I think Tandang was maybe at the final 11 as well, but that will mean that with Fire, which takes out a vote, if someone wins, like say Steven wins and he doesn't go to tribal next week, he'll have been to 7 tribal councils. So does that count more than Parvati? These people have not been to tribal council in 10 days. Does that count? Like, everyone has different criteria. Best not to qualify on the criteria, because we all have things that we value more, whether it's days, whether it's tribal councils, whether it's number of people, whether it's like how high that competition is, whether it's, you know what I mean? Like, we all have things that we qualify it on, and that's why we all have our subjective rankings of winners, and we're all entitled to that. But if you start then talking about what counts and what doesn't count based on that criteria, well, all of ours is different. And now I think we've opened a can of worms that, again, Jeff won't like, because then his precious new era, and I don't want to do that, but then his precious new era has to be denigrated.
He was the one that opened the can of worms.
I don't want to do that.
No, I don't want to either. Like, I don't even want to give like any airplay to this actual conversation because I think it's horrible anyway. I don't think that any Survivor, any win on any season should be judged. Yeah. Just full stop. I think it's disgraceful, and I think it's a slight on the actual the global franchise, and we don't want to do that. Like, we have it is an amazing franchise. Let's just leave it alone. Let's not touch it. Let's respect it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it's about when you say what does and doesn't count, when you take away someone's win. Yeah. If Chris Underwood counts as a win, and believe me, I count it. You could say, oh, I don't rank Parvati's win highly because she played against as many people. I don't agree with you. Again, I think she went to as many tribal councils. I think she played one of the best wins of all time. But you can rank how you rank. But it counts. And if Chris Underwood freaking counts, and it does, and I don't think I've ever said it doesn't count. I just say it's not my favorite win, should we say?
Exactly.
Then how on earth, Jeff, when your own franchise will bring someone back as a third boot and have them win? Can you imply, can you lead to Parvati? So this is it's been 25 years. We have a cacophony of wins. We have a very diverse, game type globally and in the US. Like, we can't now be ruling out what counts and what doesn't, because it's way too diverse a field. Yeah.
And what my other question is, would he have asked the same question if somebody else had won?
Like, I think so, yeah. I do actually think so. Because he doesn't like Australian Survivor. I don't think it's about Parvati. I think Jeff loves Parvati. I think it's about how he looks at Australian Survivor. And I think that...
But what if Tony won? What if Tony...
I think the same. I think if Sarit, I think all of them. I think Jeff loves Parvati. Like, I don't... she's an icon. She was mentioned in this episode. She was mentioned in this episode of Survivor 49. I think she's one of the absolute biggest icons of the game, obviously. I just think it's about the way that Jeff looks at Australian Survivor. It's just so insulting. We just want to be loved. What are we doing? How are we hurting you, Jeff? Who said nothing, but yeah.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Like, from what we've seen, you know, he went out to lunch with JLP. I would have thought that he would have wanted to put a slight on Australian Survivor, because he's had and still has to this day such a great relationship with JLP, who, you know, obviously is not there now, but has been there for the last 10 years. So I think I kind of disagree on that. Yeah,
no, he's said things, and I mean, he did bring up positively. He said like, "Oh, Parvati just won." We're like, "Oh, he acknowledged us," and we were so happy. He said that like on a red carpet recently. But Jeff is always. He said, you know, he gets mad if people even go on Australian Survivor. Like he definitely.
But Sari went on and then went on to play 50. So he wasn't
I'm not saying he's not a hypocrite. Okay, I'm just saying he doesn't like that's. I don't think it's a Parvati thing. I really do think, and I think as well. And now you're getting psychological again about a man who did not say anything. But damn, I would be doing the same thing if I was putting out Survivor 49 right now. And they had just had AUV World. I mean, it's obtuse, I think. But like, if you want to get the narrative of what is proper Survivor, I mean, you maybe have to force it. And sometimes if you try to force it and it doesn't fit, it probably doesn't belong there. But to quote the man himself, I feel like I would also be desperately trying to hang on to that narrative if this year was 48 and 49 of US Survivor. Because thank God for AUV World. And I really enjoyed Brains of Born too.
Exactly. Yeah. But how can he not think that AU versus the World wasn't one of the greatest seasons that we've had? I mean, it has been a worldwide success. Like, it has been such a huge... Yeah, right. Well, I think
Wouldn't you hate that? To be fair, wouldn't you hate that if you put out Survivor and then someone else was like, "I love you, you're my big brother, we also do Survivor," and everyone was like, "This might be better, this is incredible." I would hate that. I get it. I actually totally get Petty Jeff. Like, but
I imagine that they're paying for these franchises. So the person who actually owns Survivor, a Survivor franchise, it's up to them, isn't it? It's not up to Jeff. He's the host.
He will. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just he lives and breathes Survivor, and he's not. You know, and I don't think he lives and breathes the global franchise. Like, he lives and breathes US Survivor. And then when people start saying AU Survivor is better than US, like, he definitely would hate that. And I totally fully understand that.
I understand that, but I also look at how many other franchises of other shows out there. It's not like Australian Survivor has only been around for 5 minutes. We've been around a really long time. So we've proven ourselves on the world stage. So. Yeah. I know so. Of course we have. And comparing our 47 days or 45 days that we're doing now compared to 26 days on Survivor US right now, we've got a great show. So I think he should be proud, because we wouldn't have it without the US Survivor. So, you know, and the fact that we are slightly different, it's great. But yeah, I don't like the fact that he's had beef with us in the past, but I think he should have respect. And I think he should have had more respect for Parvati. Yeah. To even make this comment about her, even if he does respect her and like her and she's an icon and all those things, he shouldn't have asked that question, because and I imagine that they would have discussed it beforehand. So he would have had an idea of where Jeremy's answer was going to go. So I don't think there's actually any excuse here, personally. That's just with me.
Totally agree. It was disrespectful to Parvati, which he put into the game, and it was disrespectful to Australian Survivor, who, as you said, are doing it in US Survivor's image.
Yeah, they both owe her an apology.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. It was a fantastic win. It was a joy to cover.
And joy. So good.
I hope that I mean, I would love for Jeff to maybe look at this, take something like this and reflect on it, and then, you know, start to see that, again, as you said, it's a point of pride that Australian Survivor, we love US Survivor, and look how much we try to incorporate it. That's why we do AUV World and wanted to do AUV US. And have had Russell and Sandra since almost the inception. We had Russell, in the 3rd season. We have so much respect. We're just
Yeah.
He's trying to keep up
Hence
with our
why
big
they
brother.
had so many US players even on the World Tribe. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we wanted it to be a whole tribe, like
exactly. We would love it
yeah,
to be AUV US,
we
but the
would.
fact that they did the World was absolutely awesome as well. But yeah, I think you boys owe her an apology.
Yeah, well, preaching to the choir. Anyway, good 20-minute rant about that. Should we talk about Survivor 49?
Do we have to?
Yes, we
I'd be
do.
happy just to chat with you.
Yeah, well, we can chat. I've watched the episode
Survivor
twice.
49.
So yeah, so I'm 49. I feel like, okay, well, let's get into it. So last week we said, we thought maybe they would throw some challenges.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And then last week I said, I kind of get that they didn't throw it last week, even though both sides could technically split if they bring in the Kele member, which seemed obvious. Maybe you want to feel it out. You don't want it to be so rigid. You want to see if you make new connections with these other tribe members. So I kind of got it. But I said next week, which was this week, surely they'll start throwing. Because at this point, they've played out the dynamics. Like, at this point, they know there's really nothing with Jason. As I said, like, this is kind of a good thing that we lost. It's like, there's a way you can try to do that.
Do you think they're even thinking of it, though? Like, do you think this cast, like, are they smart enough to think of it?
It's not a question of intelligence. Because I think that most of the time, this cast is
strategy-wise.
Creative, I think, is the word. Because, I think that often they do the, like, responsible, salient thing this season. And that's almost, like, worse TV. It's like, you played that. Like, how one should play it. Like, but I think it's maybe it's a for me, it does kind of represent everything that's wrong with the season, but it's not about a lack of like strategic intelligence. It's about a lack of like teeth. It's like, again, in our version that doesn't count in Australian Survivor, when we have like a war, we take hostages, like we're there on the mat. Like, and King George did this and AJ did this year. And like, it's heated. And like, they're like, this is like this Uli Hina war, but it's such a polite war. We're not going to actually throw a challenge, even though it's such a safe way to do that. They know Jason doesn't have an idol. He didn't play anything last time. It's obvious. Both majorities have their own idol. The potential for it with MC and Rizzo. Then Sage tells them that Rizzo has the idol, so they know Shannon doesn't have it. Shannon's such a great person to take out for the other Uli side. They're bringing Sage over.
Shannon hasn't been honest with them and told them that Rizzo has got the idol. Yeah.
There's so much there. And it just takes one person to be like, to do that push, to be a little devilish. I love what Rob said on Know It Alls, where he's like, the people that were kicked out of to get the alternates, like the chatty troublemakers, maybe we needed a couple of troublemakers. I think that it kind of does represent the lack of throwing, what's wrong with the season for me. Obviously the disaster tribes of production and the new era and all of that, but then it's like the cast is so nice. Like, I want to be friends with all of them, and I think I'll meet many of them in a couple of weeks after ragging on the season to extremes. But I'm looking for the teeth. Savannah's got a bit of that, but I'm looking for more of that oomph. Yeah, the grit, exactly. Like, they're doing like the salient thing often. They're doing the kind thing for sure. They're crying over the chicken. These are people after my own heart. Like, I'm not saying that I don't resonate with that. They had a conversation about who their favorite Pokemon was. I literally talked about that on my podcast with Peter Gus and around. He said his favorite Pokemon this week. They're my people. Every bad thing you say about the new era is me. It's a cast of Disney adults. Hello. It's a cast of theater nerds. Yes. But maybe it's a cast of like white collar Survivor nerds. Yes, me to a T. But maybe I don't want to watch 18 me's not push it enough and do this the kind of sensible thing.
Why wasn't there a country person there to lop the head off the chicken or kill the chicken? Like, why were they all city folk? Like, come on. The old Survivor that we have loved is the diversity. It's people coming from the smallest country towns to the largest cities and everything in between. That's what we love about Survivor, is the diversity. And we're just not seeing that like this season. It's just not grabbing us and just like throwing us to the ground and going, we've got this. Like, it's just not there. And that's what we want.
Survivor, white collar versus white collar versus white collar. I'm just like, throw a challenge, take a hostage. Like, and it's not even just like like Jason was like, wow, I wish I'd said to them, like, help me, Paul. Like, yes. Shannon as well. I mean, Shannon, to be fair, thinks she's fine. That's another reason you should throw. Shannon's not playing a shot in the dark. Like, you'd have her well snowed. Jason doesn't even end up playing his shot in the dark.
Why didn't he play his shot in the dark?
Yeah, so we can talk about the vote.
They must have really like worked him over good to show him that they were all freaking voting for Rizzo, as if they were all like, is he on a completely different show that we can't see? Because we didn't see any of that.
I know. It was so half-baked as a storyline, and yet Jason fell for it. I think he was the only one.
Every episode is half-baked. Like, there's nothing we can really go, is it going to be a really great story here? No, they've fucked it up again.
I mean, it's been 5 unanimous votes. I think that maybe the 3-person on Kayla was like, that was kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, here I was looking at it, I'm like, because like Savannah's like clearly like genuinely annoyed at Jawan. So it's like, is there anything there? But it was like, it would just be such an unforced error. Like to the point where, again, throwing to take out Jason is what they should have done. So letting Jason stay, when again, the other tribe should be throwing to save Jason. If you're saving Jason, it's just such an unforced error. Jawan, God love him, is loyal. He's rigging the rocks. He's feeding Rizzo to Jason, even though he really likes Jason and he really liked Matt. And it's not, and he hasn't had the potential to flip, and he hasn't wanted to. He's like really strong, and like Savannah does have like seemingly real, very private beef with him that he doesn't know about. But like taking out Jawan when the numbers are kind of in balance would have been a crazy thing to do. And it talking about, okay, well, we don't want to start the war. It's like you'll start the war and you'll finish it. Like you'll start and win the war.
Why don't this is what I don't understand. Why don't they want to start a war? Like,
a war they'll win.
Pardon?
It's a war they'll win. So like, great.
Exactly. But start this war. Like, this is television. This is reality television. This is what we want to see. We want to see a war. Why didn't they start a war? Like, and why they keep saying, but we don't want to start a war. Well, fucking start a war. Like,
yeah. I mean, I get for them that they're like, it's a social game. We want it to be fluid. We don't want to cut off options. And like taking out Jason it's a line in the sand that like clearly we just take out the Heenas. But to be fair, if you don't take out Jason and now you've evened up the numbers, now Heena are in a position where maybe they'll actually wage the war because they can win it. If you are winning the war numerically and you take out Jason, now there actually is the opportunity for fluidity, maybe counterintuitively, because the war is kind of over. You know what I mean? Like if you kind of get a head start on the war, take out a couple of Hina members, then the last remaining Hina members will have to work with you, but on your terms. So it will be fluid. Whereas if it's kind of even, maybe Hina shore up, you take out Jawan, you don't even know what's happening with Sage, but even if nothing bad is happening with Sage on the other side, if you take out Jawan, seemingly you'll lose Sage for sure. They might have Alex. They've kept Jason. Like now they're at a war where they might actually win. Whereas if you keep Jawan, try and keep Sage with him. Not that you know what's happening there. Hopefully Shannon has that on lock and we'll talk about it. You have Sophie. Maybe Sophie gets Alex. Like you've won the war. Take out, get to the merge, take out a couple of people who you can least work with from Hina or the biggest threats. And then the remaining people will have to come with you to you. And it will be fluid, but it'll be fluid on your terms. So it was such a no-brainer. I was like, I don't know who could fall for this. Jason did. Jason didn't play Shot in the Dark. Jason was very snowed by Savannah. But for me, it was like there would be no point not to take a shot to the point where I think you should have thrown to take the shot. So for me, it was open and shut.
Yeah. I'm just, I don't know. It's just a bit of a snooze fest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, what do you think about like Savannah's even question here about Jawan versus Jason as options?
Well, I don't even think it's a great question. Like whether it's Jason or Jawan, it actually doesn't matter to me. Like I don't see, sorry, it doesn't really matter. Like we can see that they've by taking Jason, they've drawn a line in the sand. Okay, they've drawn a line in the sand. What's going to happen next week? And we can see from next week that maybe they're going to 3 tribes. So what does that mean? There's 3 tribes of 4. How are they going to how is that all going to work out? That is also going to be another snooze fest because whoever we're going to have another shellacking again of the tribe that's obviously the weakest is just going to get annihilated again, and we go through the same process again. So, and are we going to 3 and then the following week we're going to merge? Like, are we doing a mergatory? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's hard. We don't know that, and at least they're trying to change it up. So we have to give credit there. I do think I think that taking out Jawan would matter because it would be a huge unforced error that would take the kind of power away from Uli and give it to Hina. That already feels like it's not gonna. I feel like Hina are just way less developed in the edit for me. Even if they get confessionals, and you kind of talk about this with Australian Survivor, be like, this person doesn't have as many confessionals. It's like, but you know them. It's really like often quantity. Like someone like the other Sophie, she has some confessionals. She has the fewest confessionals, I think, but like they're all about food. Like, have we actually met Sophie? Like, do we know? So you know what I mean? It's like if you have 10 confessionals where you don't find out a lot about you, that could mean less than having 7 confessionals where we find out a lot about you. So I think with Hina, we got a bit with Christina, but I just kind of feel like, and we have with them, we have had it. And maybe, and I don't know why I'm getting the sense, but it really feels like Uli and Kele have been the main characters, and Hina are like fodder.
Yes, exactly. I totally
and I think had they taken out Jawan here, it would have given Hina the emphasis to kind of really come in and take control. I do think last week I said Jawan was like on the bottom like Marianne was, and it's not a terrible spot. I think he's more on the bottom than that. I think he's like a Jay Meyer or a Sifu where he's very expendable to them and will be early. I don't know if he'll ever get the opportunity to make his move. But they're so worried about him, but he's not going anywhere. Like, he's not trying to make his move. Like, I feel bad for Jawan.
That's exactly right. He is so loyal, and so it's just because he's annoying that and whatever that looks like. Like if somebody took my water bottle, and if somebody took my bag to collect wood in, you know, I'd be mad about it for a second, but then it'd be like, it'll be fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to hold it against him, especially if he's a good guy and he's in my alliance, or he's somebody that I can strategize with or whatever. But yeah, there's obviously more there than meets the eye, and obviously he can be pretty annoying.
He really wants to stay with Uli. Like, I think we've seen him have a relation with Sage, and if she's fully jumping to Hina, he could go with her.
She's jumped, babe. She's
jumped. But I don't know if Jawan will want to go with her. Like, Jawan is all in. He has never shown anything other than complete 100% loyalty from anything that I've seen in my edit. Yeah. So it's a hard one to like. Yeah, if it was a Sage, sure. You know, like Sage has jumped. Hey, Sage is at this point Hina. Like, she is for all intents and purposes. She's Hina. But Jawan has never been that. Like, this is why it feels contrived, because it's not actually full Hina versus like squeaky wheel. Like, he could turn, but Jason will definitely turn. It's like Jason will definitely turn, and Jawan seems like he really won't. Like, and it's interesting when we'll talk about the groups for next week. Like, Jawan will be with, I think, Sage, Steven, and Shannon. So at that point, Jawan might have no choice, and it will actually prove Savannah right. But that really doesn't seem like his intention. So I just kind of feel bad, because I don't think there's anything there. Again, I think we spoke about it for too long in this episode, because it was such a slam dunk to not take out someone
Let's stop talking about it then. Let's move on to something else.
Bring the rock. Okay, well, let's talk about Sage. I know you were saying before the podcast that you really like Sage. That's good. That's positive.
Obviously I've just watched the episode, and the look that she gives the camera when she's hugging Shannon, hilarious. I love it. And she has clocked Shannon like that, and the fact that she's been able to bring in these other boys, I'm absolutely loving. She's obviously a smart cookie. Shannon, like, the way that I see some of these people is, how would I play with them? Like, how would they impact my game if I was out there with them? And I kind of feel like Shannon would really ruffle my feathers. Like, she'd be like scraping fingernails down a blackboard for me. Like, like you, I'm also an atheist. I respect religions, no problem, but I don't want it shoved down my throat. Like, I don't want anything shoved down my throat. So I'm not sure that I'm loving what she is serving at the moment. I think that Sage has clocked her in such a way by saying that she is able to get out of these people what means the most to them, and then she latches onto that and she doesn't let go, and that really resonates with these people. They really think, oh my God, she's so invested in me, I'm going to invest back in her. Like, she seems so amazing. And she's clearly playing the game. She's very strategic. She's looking ahead, all those kind of things. Yeah, but I think Sage has just she's funny, she's smart, she's cute, she's silly. Like, you know, I love the silliness. I am not digging the blackheads in a jar, let me tell you, but I don't want to know about that. But, and we all, we all have silly people like that, or people that kind of joke about those kind of things in our lives, and they really bring light to the room. And so I think she'd be hilarious to have around. But she's also, I'm also loving that she's clocking these people, because I don't think I'm seeing a lot of that. I don't think that a lot of people are kind of like, they're like, as soon as they meet these people, they're loving them. Like, as soon as they meet them, it's like, there's more to it than that. Like, let's just get to know each other. And I know we only have 26 days, but I'm not going to love many people from day one. Like, that's, anyway.
It's interesting you bring up the blackheads, because I think that Shannon and Sage are opposites in that way. Whereas, like, Shannon connects with you. She's really good at that.
Yeah.
You're drawn to her really quickly. But then maybe the shine starts coming off. Like, is it genuine? And you start questioning that. So it's kind of like a downward trajectory. And then Sage, it's like the first thing I heard was in her interview, it was about the blackheads. The first thing she introduced everyone to herself in this tribe, blackheads. The first thing when she gets on the beach was...
and she said, you might think I'm absolutely crazy, and you're probably right.
And I didn't like that. I don't like the blackhead thing. The first thing she said when she came on the mat on the first second of the game was how she was peeing off the boat. So she's a slower burn, right? Hopefully not with the peeing off the boat. But I think that I don't know why I made that joke. I think
that's the way that she deals with her anxiety and her nervousness.
Yeah.
And that's how it is projected. And that's okay.
The word vomit. The word, but that's why it's so frustrating for a Sage. And look, I get this as like an extroverted introvert. There are definitely situations where I feel super uncomfortable, and I can't be the Shannon, ironically, given that I am Shannon, but I can't be that survivor Shannon who is so effortlessly connecting with people and putting herself out there. Like, and Sage is just sitting by herself, and like I criticize that in the game because that's not what you're meant to be doing. But I totally get that. But I also think I'm someone who maybe, like, if you connect with me, like, we can do that. And I think Sage, it like takes that time, and now she's had that time. And that's built a more genuine connection with people. It's just like they had to get over the initial humps of not really getting her as much. Although Stephen did say from the beginning that she was weird and he's weird and he liked that.
Yeah,
and again, this is a great new era cast for that type of thing. But I think with Shannon, it's a very opposite thing. And I think time has behooved Sage and detracted from Shannon. But I think as well with Shannon, again, what Shannon is doing would not, I don't think, work for me. Again, as we're saying, like, we're not in that spiritual plane, at all. But I do think, some of it I will continue to defend Shannon. Like, when Sage is like, well, she connects with people, she finds what's important to them, she makes them feel seen. Yeah. I'm like, this is a good social game. Actually, that's just like a good way to connect with people at all. Like, I don't want to take away from that. I think where it gets manipulative is we see her say to multiple people, she quantifies it. You're my number one. You're my top people. Then it seems disingenuous. Yeah. And I think at that point,
they're all now clocking it as well. And they're like Stephen and who was it? MC explaining it to Christina. It was like, because Christina is obviously quite mesmerized by Shannon at this point, and they're like, but can you see that she's actually doing this to everyone, and that this is how she's playing the game? And Christina's like, I didn't even get it from that perspective. I was just looking at it from how she impacts me and how she makes me feel. Fair enough, no worries. But there's more to this game than just getting to know somebody, and you need to find out who your allies are pretty quickly. But you have to know that not every single person on your tribe can be your ally.
Yeah, I do think, though, that with Shannon, like, with all that in mind, she is impeded more than Sage, because Sage wasn't in the Uli group, right? Like, Sage was feeling really out there. Sage has the opportunity to jump, and Sage has done very well. Sage got put into what looked like a bad swap and actually breathed new life into her game. And is she going to the bottom of Hina?
She breathed new life into the bloody show. Like, it was great.
It's true.
That's what we wanted to see.
There was some teeth, which was great.
Yes.
And I think, like, if she's at the bottom of Hina, maybe she is. I don't know. But there's opportunity. It's a new thing. Where she's definitely at the bottom of Uli. She jumps ship. She gives herself maybe to a numerical minority now. We don't know.
But she's also not crying, poor me. Like, I'm in a shit situation. How am I going to get out of this? She is not doing that at all. And then you look at like Sophie on the other tribe, who I also quite like, but the complaining, like
Sophie hasn't eaten in day. Like, Sophie has never had Flint, never once in the game. Like,
I can't imagine. Like, I didn't eat for 4 days. I can't imagine what it would have been like to only have eaten coconut in a week, like in 7 days. That would have been.
Then I think they're at 10 days.
Yeah, I think when they were talking about it, though, I think they were at about 7 or 8 days or whatever. It doesn't matter. But, yeah, it would be like it would have been horrific, like terrible. And, yes, your brain does go and do silly things. But I think I don't know. I just don't like complainers.
But Sophie, I mean, look, Sophie, I've complained about a lot less. Like, she's had a very different experience to anyone else. She's gone to every single tribal council. She's never won a challenge. Not one competition-based thing has her group ever won in this season. Compared to Shannon, who are competing at this level, have only won challenges. They've had certain rewards. I mean, like, Uli was kind of coming second, but they've always had Flint. They have Chicken now. It's good. I like seeing their brains firing in this real war rather than Sophie, who's a great character, being like, I just can't right now. And they're like, it's fine. You just rest. You know, like, I don't love them gassing the players to the point where they can't play. I want to see them play. We can talk about that with the journey in this week as well.
That's what happens when you get 3 tribes of 6, isn't it? You know,
and a disaster
getting annihilated, and then they end in disaster. Exactly. So you know, it's not good television to watch this happen.
Well, I think as well with so Sage has the opportunity to jump, and she does. I think that what Shannon does badly is anything definitive. Anytime you're like, you're my number one, you're like my top people, like she says this to Alex, Christina, Steven. It's a lot of people to be bringing into the inner circle, even if it's true. Exactly. I think some of the stuff she does well is like, well, the deft touch is good. Like what she says to Steven about the plan, it's not mutually exclusive with her being Uli strong. She's like, we're going to look out for each other as a group. It is a good plan, and I think it's a genuine plan. And again, it doesn't actually step much on the Uli toes. It's about having other options which you can have in Survivor. But I think it points where she is more definitive. And honestly, some of that is baked in. She's definitively more pro-Uli. She does not tell the group about Rizzo's idol. How can she? Christina said on Twitter that she did tell Christina, but she can't go to the group and say, Rizzo is an idol, I'm with you. Sage can do that. But then now Shannon has lost its binary war, but she's not in a position to flip. And at other times where she is trying to be quite definitive, there's not as there can't be as much follow through again because she's not in that position.
But she wants 2 from every tribe, right?
Yeah.
So who is she going to take from her own tribe?
She did. That's the one thing she didn't say. Obviously, Sophie and Alex are the only 2 Kelly members.
That's the flaw in this whole plan.
I think she would take Savannah. That's her number 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, like I still think she's Uli strong. I just think that she wants eyes and ears out. Like I think that that's actually not even though it was addressed to the wrong person. Steven's been clocking her. She's not reading him. Like she's stepping on the wrong toes there for sure. But the plan itself, I actually think is genuine and has merit for her. And like, but then it's other things which she can't definitively lean in as much. And then other times when she's like, you're the ones I feel best about. Like that the kind of the over deliverance, but no, the over promising and under delivery. I think that when she gives a plan like that, she can actually deliver on it. But it's when you're saying things can't deliver.
Are you just happy that there's a plan though? Like
no, I mean, look, it's not like rocket science. You know, we've seen this multiple New Era seasons of like bringing like they talk about this know-it-alls. Like Q was trying to do this in 46. I think that plan was genuine is what I'm trying to say. But I still think she prioritizes Uli as she should. And I think that she's not able to prioritize this group, but she's trying to give them a lot. And every time she overpromises, that's where it's not genuine. That's where it's going to be blocked. That's where it's going to be picked up. And that's when she either can't say things like you have the idol, or she says too much, like, I feel best with you. It's like, okay, but that's like your 7th best ally in the game. Do you know what I mean? So I think that she's in a tougher position than Sage because she can't really flip. So she's having to be less genuine. Sage can genuinely flip. Sage has no complications. Like Sage can be like, Rizzo is the idol. I'm with you. I hate Uli. I'm done. Color me yellow. Whereas Shannon is Uli strong, but she has to be like, I feel I'm really, really strong with you. I'm the strongest with you. That's a lie. Like I really want to be with this group, but I can't tell you about the idol. So I think the things where she balances it well to be like, I'm really strong, but we can have a plan, fair and genuine. But when she's trying to do more than that, she either can't do more than that, and then they'll clock her, being like, you're not giving us as much as Sage, or she tries to do more than that, and it doesn't come across as genuine because it's not genuine, because she can't give that like Sage can. I don't know if that.
So are Shannon and Sage on the same tribes that you saw for next week?
Yes, they are. So that might actually play out, which would be good because it would be Erd and Steven, which was like a main name they were fighting over. So
it was Steven and who else? And Juwan.
It was Juwan, Sage, Shannon, and Steven.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's going to be interesting. That could be fun to
play
watch.
out. Yes, that would play out and feel earned in a way that has not really felt super earned so far with disaster tribes and swap screwing and stuff. So we'll see if that, we don't know what's happening. We'll talk about the next time on, but yeah, I do think Sage was really good here. I also blame Sage less for the non-throwing because she can't do that. Like she's not in whereas like the Stevens of the world, MC, who are apparently close to Jason. Jason said he had a 4 with I think Sophie, MC, and Steven. They're the ones who should be in the driver's seat to throw. If it's a war, cement the war, damn it. Like, throw the challenge. Vote out Shannon. She'll be none the wiser. It's perfect. You really don't expect to stay in these groups another round. And they're not. But I guess expect the unexpected, but not really, even though the season's a bit different. It was just such a slam dunk. And my question is, are they not doing that because immunity challenges are tied to Flint and rewards? In which case, it's another reason I hate the production does that. And I don't agree. Like, I think you have to make sacrifices.
I totally disagree as well. It should not be tied. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. And it's not making good television. And I assume that that's what they thought it would do, but it's not.
If it stopped them from throwing, which would have been interesting and correct, then that's like a painful thing. And I just don't think that either of these tribes should have been looking to win this challenge. But should we talk about the journey?
Let's talk about the journey.
Did you like this journey?
Not really. I think having to lift 100 heavy bags from one end of the beach to the other, like in the boiling hot sun, and I mean, we know that they'd both eaten, but it was I don't know, and I kind of liked the way that Nate kind of really played her, like getting her to come back before there was so much time left, and MC had so much more time to go and find an idol. But I really didn't want her to lose her vote because that meant that she was going to lose 2 votes. Like this tribal council.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Like I
don't know how that works either. Has that even happened before?
There's definitely talk about it even since 41. I remember Brad had Beware and then could have lost a vote, and it was like, how will this happen? I spoke to Mike and Omer about this, and they kind of both disagreed with me. They felt like you'd lose a vote, and even say you don't have the Beware advantage and you've lost a vote here, and then you gain your Beware advantage after one tribal council where you lost a vote, you'd still lose another one consecutively. I kind of feel like you wear them in the same tribal council, so it's kind of like you might as well risk your vote. That's certainly how we used to talk about it in 41. I don't know if there's any clarity on this. I'm happy to be pointed to that clarity. I don't know yet if it's worn in the same tribal.
I would like to know. Yeah,
because it really makes a difference, because losing 2 consecutive votes is incredibly painful. It makes it more precious than ever. But to be fair, MC would really think she's probably going to find that Beware advantage, so it's not a real threat. But it's if you know you're losing a vote anyway, and it's going to be worn in the same tribal council, then you can risk your vote more, because then it's it's kind of like a free shot where you're not actually losing a different.
But if she didn't think that she was going to lose a second
she seemed to think she was going to lose a second.
Exactly. That's my point.
But also, she should.
If she didn't, then she would have gone and taken the time that was left on the timer to go into the jungle and see if she could find that advantage.
That is true, except that she hasn't actually lost her vote. She just doesn't have a vote till she finds Beware, and she's highly likely to find
But she doesn't know that.
Seattle.
We know that.
Yeah, the track record of finding Beware is like extremely high. Like I think you can bet on yourself, you know. So it's not, but you are right, and how precious she felt about her vote does make it feel like it was even more. But I still think that you would assume you're going to actually have a vote, so it's not as much of a real conundrum. But that is a good point. I mean, I didn't feel like Nate was getting one over on MC. I love the way he approached this from beginning to end. Nate is great, by the way. Nate's one of my favorites. We had a question from Justine Costello, who asked, can Nate be an honorary member of the middle-aged mafia to give him a rest from the vibes?
Sure.
Nate is, I love Nate. Like, I really love everything. He's really one of my favorites.
Yeah. I agree.
I love the way that he was playing it from the beginning. Like, I love that he and Savannah went into the rock draw and then Juwan rigged it so that Jason wouldn't get it. It was mean. It wasn't mean. It was unfortunate for Jason, but it was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do. Yeah.
Without like putting him off and making, because they still want to pretend to work with him so he doesn't play a shot in the dark. So it's not like, no, you're not going, because I've talked about being antisocial in the journeys before, but they're like, no, it's fine.
That move from Juwan was clever. It was really clever. Yeah. And obviously he had to think of it on the spot. But it was really good.
Yeah,
because they all seemed so surprised when the boat was coming in. It's like, surely they would be expecting somebody to go on a journey any minute.
Yeah, they've rigged the sticks. I think it was in Lauren did it in 44. They did it in Survivor New Zealand, Thailand. They rigged the sticks, but it was a smart thing to do, especially because Juwan. Juwan might be like, if Jason goes, even if he doesn't get anything, if you're scared about it, like you're splitting on Juwan, like and like if Jason plays the show in the dark,
splitting any votes. Nobody's splitting.
No, well they split last week, but if Jason feels more threatening and could have something, Juwan's name is coming out of the urn. Yeah. So it made sense for him to try something there, and Nate and Savannah.
And I wonder if he told the others after it happened.
Yeah. And that would show you how loyal he is. So loyal. Like, and Jason had no idea. So that was really good.
Yeah.
And I think they all should have to be honest, have done. I think Juwan probably felt he couldn't because he'd been on a journey. Like, and Rizzo, to be fair, had been on a journey. So they probably, because we're all so polite about the journeys. It was so polite in the season that I think they probably preclude them from that. But as many people and Sophie was probably exhausted. So that was probably why it became Nate and Savannah having to take one for the team.
Yeah.
So I see how that was like the polite thing to do, but I think it was really good of both of them to, even Nate doesn't want to go and he like puts it on the line because he knows it's more important to like not have Jason go there, be with MC who he's aligned with. They could work together to give him the advantage. Like Jason would have had a really good shot of getting something in that journey. So I thought that was really good. And then the way that Nate tried to connect with MC, I thought was great.
Yeah, and I mean, she clocked it straight away as well. She was like, I can see what he's doing, but I mean, it's all good because you got to ask 20, fire off 20 questions to ask these people. We don't know how much longer we've got together, so let's get to know each other pretty quickly. And you never know, you might just bond over something that is, your favorite movie or whatever. Like
hopefully it's Marvel.
Pardon?
Hopefully MC likes Marvel, considering he's like a massive Marvel producer. He's asking that question in the same Jeff Probst leading way. Like, what's your favorite movie? You a Black Panther fan? You like Captain America? Yeah. Yeah. Really like those movies.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I didn't think that he was manipulating her. Like, his plan made sense for both of them. Like, if you go for the advantage, you have a higher chance of losing your vote. It's uncontrolled and it's combative, where this is collaborative together. And it's public, because when you find it, then the other person has to do the rest of the journey alone. So everyone in the game will know. You'll seem like a snake.
Yeah, but why did he go back to his tribe and not tell them about finding the advantage?
I didn't. He's like, they really bought it. I'm like, what's the buy? Tell them exactly what happened. You maintained your vote. You were so trustworthy. There's nothing happened.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you just tell them what you did?
I agree
and that and that neither of you got the advantage.
It was so unsnaky. There was nothing to lie about. Like, they literally just were like, let's be, again, exactly like this season. Let's do the salient, responsible thing. Let's make sure we maintain our vote. Let's not do the risky thing. He doesn't even want an advantage, let alone, like, even if you, like, our MC and want the advantage, again, being combative to maybe find an advantage to where you
she's
might
about
lose
to
your
find
vote.
an idol, so she's going to be okay. And obviously
Exactly.
he feels safe, so that's okay too. I realize how, like, it being collaborative, it's beneficial for both of them because they both don't want to lose their vote in case they don't get back, blah, blah, blah. But I did not understand why he had to go back and not just tell them exactly what happened. I just thought that was was just random, and it seemed nothing. Like, why wouldn't he tell them everything?
Totally agree. You have like the luxury of being fully honest, and it's verifiable from MC. So you just have to be like,
and so what if one of them does have a conversation and says, was there an advantage and what did you go for it? Like, they're going to know that he didn't tell the complete truth. So
now it looks more suspicious when it really doesn't need to, because nothing snaky happened. Like, it's literally, they gave us opportunity of the advantage. We were scared to lose our votes. We mostly went for the bags. Then we looked for a bit, and then we thought, firstly, we probably won't find it and we don't want to run out of time. Secondly, we are straight up gassed, which is, I think, really what happened. So we just then finished the bags, and you can verify with MC, you know, like, who I have no relationship with.
I don't understand why they gave them such a physical challenge, like such a really demanding, like, and I know they finished it in heaps of time and MC's super fit and she probably did 80% of it or whatever, but I just thought it at this point where they know they're absolutely starving and they are absolutely gassed anyway. Why
I'll tell you why they did it. Because the winners of war. They had to get, what was it, coconuts? And Ethan had that beautiful thing about his cancer journey. And then they thought, we're going to make this a staple of every season. Then they removed it.
Or was it coconuts, or was it pieces of wood? Wasn't it pieces of wood?
Oh, it was wood. Okay, sure. It was, was there not two? Was there, anyway, I love Winners of War. And even I'm like, they really want to just recreate the Ethan thing. And they made it into Sweat or Savvy every season. And then they got away from that.
Shannon,
we brought it back. I was like, God, not this again. I was like, even Zon, you will pay for your crimes.
Yeah.
That was such compelling TV to the producers. And like, that because of Ethan, because Ethan's like, 20-something year incredible casting. Like, we remember Ethan's on, we love Ethan. And he has an incredible story. And they're trying to recapture that magic. But we don't have that magic again. But what we do have is many, many sandbags. And that's what has happened.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, it's again, just not good production to fully gas them, right? Because what happens is he calls MC back and she's like, there's a lot of time, but like, I'm exhausted. Like, I think that she was like, just end it. I just want to sit down. And so instead of actually going to look for something, which maybe I assume is more what production wants, they want them to spar, they want them to find an advantage. Instead, it's like, even if I wanted to do something more anti-social, which again, this cast isn't really doing, I'm too tired. Is that the TV? Ethan, why?
Yeah.
When you're on the edge and you're not playing the game, you do you. But in the game, let's have people have the energy to play it.
Yeah.
To make decisions. And anyway,
so
but like,
they could have given them, like, they could have sent them on the journey and given them like a treat, like a chocolate bar each or a plate of fruit or I don't know, something fantastic to eat. And then they had to do the bloody challenge. Like, that would have been a bit more fun.
Yeah, but you are right. The only thing Nate did wrong was to lie about it at all. It's not going to come back to bite him. But it was just the kind of thing where it's like, you've been completely innocent. Like, you have played by the rules. You went out there for your tribe. You didn't even want to. You maintained your vote. MC maintained her vote. The worst thing you did was have a little bit of a conversation with someone from Hina, God forbid, because we're at war, a very polite war where no one will throw. But like, it's fine, and then I think just tell them about the advantage. It's so intricate. It obviously reads as believable because it happened. And no one got the advantage. Like, there's nothing here that's interesting to even tell them why lie. But that was Nate.
But we did find out that MC can burp the alphabet.
Yes. Thank God we know that.
That was really important, Shannon. Come on. That's
really
important.
This is Sage probably likes that. I bet you she and Sage are going to do that. I can tell you for a fact. All right. So to get to next week, I've got the group. So we don't know what's happening. It could be like a Murgatory thing. We do see in the next time on that Jawan and Steven are at Kele with blue buffs on, with the chickens. So Jawan is at Kele, and he has a buff. So it's not Murgatory. It could be 3 tribes and a swap. It could be 3 tribes, but 2 go to tribal council and all vote together. We don't know what it is, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But I will say, I mean, I don't know what I'm not going to be here next week to talk about it actually, but I will say I've asked for swaps. 3 tribes of 4. If they're going to tribal council in a tribe of 4, that's not really. I don't think that's what I asked for. I don't.
It's not what I asked for. It was not on my bloody wish list.
No, that would be because if you look at some of the groups, so one of the groups is Alex, Christina, Sophie S.
Yeah.
So not the Sophie we know on the show, and Nate. So 2 Hinas and Alex, who's been with Hina, and Nate. Like that would suck for Nate. Like if Nate goes in a 4, then I don't want to get too mad before I know what's happening. But like, I would hate to see that. I'd hate to see like really. I mean, people get swap screwed all the time.
Sorry, did you say he's on there with MC?
No, it's not MC. It's Christina, Sophie, and Alex. Sorry. So I think and people get swap screwed. But if it is tribes of 4, then your chance of getting swap screwed is that much higher because there's just no space. So it's a little bit concerning, and hopefully that's not what's happening. Hopefully it's combining groups, or maybe it's for a challenge and then they go back to camp and then merge. I don't know what it is. Like I'm happy for them to just merge. Everyone's like, this will be good because it'll be instead of Murgatory. We're so over Murgatory. I'm like, why don't we do these things? Just merge. Just merge the people so they can go to tribal council. Yeah. How many? 6 people have not been to tribal council. 6 people.
So
to tribal council. Have them vote. Yeah.
Yeah. And might still not get to tribal council after this next episode. And then what? We're down to 11, and and there are some people that haven't even been to tribal council yet. Like that is a shit season of Survivor. That is not the way it should go.
People say this is why you set up the expectation, because people are like, well, at least it's not this. I'm like, but it could be neither. It could be neither. Yes. We could do nothing.
Yes.
Anyway, I know it's super critical because I've asked for swaps, but I wanted swaps. They gave me a swap to 2 tribes and it hasn't gone well. And now I'm just complaining, right? Like, but I definitely don't want a swap to 3 tribes of 4. I definitely
no.
I thought that was abundantly clear.
Yeah. But apparently it's what's happening, and I couldn't be more disappointed about that. But
we'll see. And we don't want to get too mad before it's happened. But I will be in Hawaii, so I won't be here to talk about it. But just know I don't want that to happen.
Awesome.
So the other group we spoke about, Jawan, Sage, Steven, and Shannon, which would look really bad for Shannon and would actually be quite earned because Sage won that battle for Steven.
Yes.
Which will be kind of the emphasis of that group, I think. So Shannon looks like she's in a bad spot there, but that's earned because Shannon we've seen what's happened to get Shannon to a bad spot. So that
and then who's in the other group, in the last group?
So the last group is MC, Savannah, Rizzo, and the Sophie we know. So that would suck for MC, but then MC will probably have an idol if they lose, and Rizzo has an idol. So what you'd hate to see, and now I'm fan fictioning, we don't even know if this is happening, but you'd hate for like Rizzo to play an idol and MC to play an idol, and then like Sophie to go. After going to every single time.
All of this. Yeah, exactly. That would be awful.
So we'll see. So should we get to the Chizzy?
Let's get to the Chizzy.
Take it away, Jacob Sager-Weinstein and MC Color.
1, 2, 3. It's getting kind of chizzy. 3, 2, 1.
All right. So, do you want to go first, or?
No, you go first. You always let the guest go first.
I don't know if I'm being too extreme.
Do it.
I'm kind of between it.
Okay. I think I know. So you go though. Come on.
I kind of want to know what you do before I make my decision. I'll give 3 to Nate. I came in kind of wanting to give 2 to Nate and was going to give 3 to someone else, which we'll talk about. But I think that he approached the journey well. I think that he approached going on the journey well. With he and Savannah both did that. I think that Savannah said that he had the final call on Jason and Jawan, so he made the right call. And he wasn't going on about it half as much, even that as Savannah. And it wasn't even worth the conversation. So I kind of feel like Nate's doing everything right. I'll give 2 to Sage. I kind of giving 3, but she hasn't been there yet. I need to see it play out. She hasn't been to tribal council, but I feel like she completely has, from what we've seen, won the war with Shannon. She's breathed new life into her game. from what looked like a tough spot and was a tough spot. She's fully flipped, and she should flip from Uli. It's a fully right read. Like, look at Jawan. Like, Jawan hasn't had potential, but also doesn't want to, and doesn't even know. He knows he's on the bottom, but he doesn't know how dire it is. Kind of, he keeps saying he's on the bottom, but he's still so loyal.
That too. Yeah,
yeah, and Sage knows to flip. Like, she's read it, and she's doing what's right for her game. And again, like a lot of the other people, I'm going to give Chizzy points to. Like, I could look at like a Nate, Savannah, Steven, like all these other people, and say you should have thrown, but I don't blame Sage for not throwing because that's not in. She's in a minority technically. Like, she's just working her way in. But I'll give it 2 points. I'll give 1 point to Savannah. She apparently really snowed Jason, and he really made that clear in the exit interviews, and we did see it as well on the show. I feel the beef with Jawan is too much for no real reason. Like, I think that she should be cultivating Jawan. Like, he really is trying, and I feel like she's cutting off an option for like emotional reasons that aren't worth it. But at least he doesn't seem to know she feels that way. So I'll give her a point. I'll give honorable mentions.
For discussing that. Okay, so I'm giving 3 to Sage. So I just feel like I'm feeling like that she has clocked where she is, where she needs to be, and where she is now, and where she needs to go to, just quicker than all the others. I love that she's not complaining about being in a bad situation. She's making the most of her situation. And I'll give her 3 because of her that look to camera when she was hugging Shannon was just gold, mate. Well done. My 2 votes go to Nate and 1 goes to Joanne. Nate, because I think he did very well in the journey, and for all the reasons that you gave, and Joanne, because of diddling up the rock draw so that Jason didn't get a he wasn't gonna get to go on the journey. I think that was really smart on the spot. Really, really, really good. Back to Nate. I just also really like him as a character. He's probably one of the most interesting characters out there at the moment, and we need interesting characters to be watching on our screens. So that's where my votes lie.
Yeah, I'll give an honorable mention to Juwan for the rock rigging. I couldn't convert it to a point because his placement is just so bad. Like, why are we even talking so much about him going home when it's such a no-brainer for him not to go home? And for sure, that's on them. They should not be doing that. But like, if he's in that place socially, I can't reward it with points. Even though, like, I feel like, again, Juwan makes good decisions from the bottom. Like, we saw, like, when he went on the journey and he did it for the tribe and stuff. But it's like, but still, people are just not vibing with you socially, and that's the material of the game. You know, that's really the 99%. Even if I like these little 1%ers where I'm like, that's a good thing, but the rest, I'm concerned. But we know that if he hadn't rigged that rock draw, that it could have been a potential split vote, and that he potentially could have gone home. So, I totally get it. I mean, I'm not mad at the point at all. I think that on the basis of like who did well in this episode to change their fate, and if we're looking at the Chippy like that,
perfect words.
Like someone like Nate or Savannah, like they come in a good spot, they leave in a good spot, and like they play it well. But you know, Juwan's not in a good spot, and he has to wear a lot of that. But he does things within that to help his chances, and Sage did a lot of that. So that's why she got 5 points from us combined. I'll give an honorable mention to Steven as well, because I feel like he clocked well in going with Sage over Shannon, and I feel like he
agree. I 100% agree because I agree. I'm liking him more and more. The fact that he then went to MC, and then they went to Christina. And I love that kind of play
because Shannon was really appealing to Steven, Christina, and Alex. And Christina and Alex were into it.
She was working them hard.
Yeah. And they were into it. And I don't want to say they fell for it because, again, parts of that are true. Like, I think she is trying to really connect. She does tell, apparently, Christina about Rizzo's idol. So it's not like they're being, like, fully duped. But on the basis of who do you go with in Sage and Shannon, Sage can fully come with you. And Shannon is really strong. So Sage is the right choice. And they were kind of blinded by parts of the personal connection with Shannon and parts of the strategic connection with Shannon that are valid. But Steven is also getting fed that more than like I saw a scene of, I've not seen a lot of Sophie, but like Sophie or MC, it feels like Steven was really getting that. And Steven leads a lot of, I don't buy it, I don't like it. And he chooses Sage, and I think that's a really good choice because I think he's now got a new Hina member. And at the end of the day, numerically, they need that. You know, like, yeah, he's actually like, now that they've lost like a Jason, he gets over, like, he properly gets over Sage. And now that if they keep Alex, they might be at a 6-6 at best.
At best.
So that's something. And maybe then they take Juwan. Maybe then Sage can get Juwan over. So there's something there.
Like when you're on the bottom like that, you'll do bloody anything. So
yeah. So there's actually some potential. Even though obviously by voting out Jason, Uli put themselves in the best possible shot to have the numbers because they have Juwan still. The hope would still be to have Sage. That's already 6 Uli. Then they have Sophie. Maybe Sophie can bring over Alex. So their hope for numbers is better. But Hina are still in the race. But then with Steven, he really should have thrown. Like, he really should have thrown. Because if they take out Shannon and they can bring over Juwan and they keep Jason, then they think they're going into a Murgatory or Merge. That's like the whole numbers. Like, that's everything.
Exactly.
But the thing is, like, I'm being hard on Steven for it because they win the challenge. Like, Hina, the old Uli on Hina, lost the challenge, but they weren't trying to win. Like, it's so bad on all of them because it's so crucial numerically. Like, this is everything. So, like, yes, Steven lost a huge opportunity here. He could have 5 Hinas, possibly Alex, Sage, and possibly Juwan. Like, they could be in a great spot. Take out Shannon. Keep Chase. Like, so many things. But because they win the challenge, I don't want to be harsher because no one was trying. Like, even the Ulis, like, I gave 3 points to Nate, 1 point to Savannah. And they were like, this kind of worked out, didn't it? It was like, yeah, it did. It did work out for you to lose the challenge. Maybe you should have tried to lose it. There's a word for that. You can actually you can do that. So Nate has gone up to 10 points. So we've got, I'm doing this in my head, but Sophie's on 15 points leading the way, Sophie B.
Yeah.
Alex is on 10. Now Nate is on 10. Jake was on 7. Savannah's now on 5. And Sage has started her points and has gone up to 5. MC 2, Rizzo 2, Shannon 2, and Steven 1. I think that's right.
Right. Interesting.
We had this question I wanted to ask because we've been ragging on the season for over an hour. Sam asked us, what can we get excited about for this season? And I want to end on a positive note. It's not a compliment sandwich because it's more like it's just one tiny little piece of bread on a lot of like negativity meat. But I think, is there anything you can get excited about for this season?
I'm going to get excited about this Sage and Shannon war. That's what I'm going to get excited about.
Yeah, I think for me, what I hang my hat on is like the 46 pre-merge is really bad. Like this pre-merge is maybe the worst of the new era, but 46 is up there. It was so bad. And then the 46 post-merge is great. I love, and as a season, I love 46. I'd recommend it to anyone. I think it's it's up there as one of the best new era seasons, and it's a great Survivor season because we don't need to qualify. And episode 5 was okay. The first 4 episodes were a slog. And then it was really good until the very end. Like, until Maria doesn't vote for Charlie and you're like, what? Like, till the last moment.
It's so true. It's so true. But is the casting as good? Sorry, I'm not going to say anything next.
Okay. No. You're right. Is the potential there? We knew the 46ers had teeth, right? Like Q and Venus and Nami were at each other's throats. And
exactly.
I think, and it is quite, and I don't want to take away my exciting thing, but it is funny because like Yanu was a disaster tribe and they were like at each other's throats. Like, I feel like this Kayla tribe have been not really at each other's throats. Like,
no, they're not. Tribe. Yeah.
And then look at how much Nami hated each other. Like, that has not been true. Look at how petty the beef is like here. Like, it's really almost non-existent. Like, and that's why I think that you're invested in Sage and Shannon because it's real. Like, it's like actually some heat, and we haven't really had that. Right. There definitely was heat in 46 that could have ignited and did. Is the heat here this season? No. But maybe it'll get great in other ways. You know what I mean? I'm just like, the season is not over. That's how I feel. Is like, if you had told me 4 episodes into 46 that I would recommend that season by the end of it to anyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So that's what I hang my hat on. That's my excitement. I hope. I hope so. But Caroline, thank you so much. Thank you for watching for us. Thank you for going through this. This was a fun chat at the very least.
It was a really fun chat. I hope I didn't get too fired up too much, and I hope
Sometimes
I
people
didn't
need
want to
it.
didn't bring too much negativity, because I love this show so much and I love talking to you about it. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to come on. This has been really fun.
Yeah. Look, if people didn't want that, then they won't listen. If people want a place to vent, we gave it, I think. So that's good.
And I think we gave good, like we spoke about what we needed to speak to. I don't think there was any stone left unturned here that we didn't really try to get to the nitty-gritty of.
I mean, there weren't a lot of stones to rig. There weren't, but we got to the stones. Yeah.
But still, we've still spoken for an hour and 15 minutes. So come on, we've done good.
A lot of that was about AUV World, but we still did. Yeah. Where can people find you and what you're doing?
I'm just on, you can find me on Instagram at Mamalicious. Just search Caroline Courtis. Find me there.
Great. Well, you can find me at Shannon Gates, podcasting every week on Gus and Around with my husband Peter, talking about everything.
That song in my head. After I listened to the first one, that song was in my head for 3 days.
Thank you so much. I wrote it 5 years ago. I wrote that theme song as a little. Yeah. And it's just always in my head. That's just like I write stupid little jingles all the time, is what it is. And then I published this one as the theme song to our.
Maybe you've got another career in doing jingles for advertising agencies. Like, come on.
I would need the ads to be mostly about my cats, because I write jingles about my cats all the time.
Or just imagine that everything you're advertising is cats, and you just put a jingle for that. So it doesn't really matter what it is. It could be lawn seed or dog food or whatever, but you do a jingle to it and you just pretend it's about your cats.
Yeah, I want to kiss the lawn seed. I just would have to think about that, because I'd have genuinely so many jingles about my cats. It's crazy.
That's so cute. They inspire you so much.
They really, really do. I also wrote like a proper song about them, about the first moment I ever saw them unreleased. Just something for me that these are the songs I write now. This is what it's like to be in your 30s.
This is what it's like to be in the head of Shannon Gates.
Yeah, this is not where Taylor Swift went, but this is where I've gotten to in my songwriting journey, is mostly dumb jingles and almost all content about my cats. But so we're doing that, gussing around, talking about a lot of different things. Our pregnancy journey has been a big one, coming back to that quite a bit. And we're going to take a week off, and I'm taking a week off this. So I'm not going to be here next week on Survivor Global, because I'm going to be in Hawaii, and then I'm going to be in San Francisco for the RHAP event. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. A lot of people from this cast, very nice people, will probably be there. A lot of players. I think it's going to be a huge event, they're saying. So incredibly excited about that. But then I'll be back in 2 weeks. So for week 6, I'm missing that. Week 7, I'm coming back with Eden. Eden will be my guest. We'll talk about week 6 and 7. But we'll do that a bit later, because I'm only coming back on like the Sunday. And then we'll probably podcast like the Monday. And then, so we'll get into it in like 2.5 weeks from now. That's what's happening. Amazing. At Shannon Gates for all of that. Thank you so much, Caroline. Always such a fun time to chat with you.
That was fun.
Thanks so much, everyone. I will see you all next time. Thank you to our team behind the scenes. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you to everyone for listening. And I will see you then. Bye.
Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.